Greetings and welcome to Matrix Revealed Presentation 5. I got some good news yesterday before I start the actual topic. It has finally arrived, the long-awaited book by Martin Liedtke, The Holy Grail of Our Flat Earth. I would strongly recommend that you all obtain a copy of this and have a read of it. It will make so much more. Don't be put off if you don't believe in flat earth, because it talks about so much more, and this is why that whole subject has been ridiculed. And of course there is also the controlled opposition. You've only got to look on various discussions on Facebook how it comes down to a series of arguments, but it does unlock the door to so much more, and this is very important. So I suppose this does dovetail into what I do want to talk about. A lot of you out there suffer from depression and anxiety and also panic attacks, which can come from this. I've experienced this for myself, so I am talking from a point of experiencing this. Now, where this all starts, when you consider that everything is sound and vibration, and depending on your biological makeup, you may be more in tune, and if you start on this awakening path and you start having that feeling of not belonging here, things not feeling right, that is a sign. That is still, despite all that is bombarded at us in the foods, the fluoride in the water and all the medications they want us to take, on top of all the education system and telling us we're this or we're that and we've got to think this way or that way, forget all that, because with this depression and anxiety, it's a gift, because like I said in the last video, things always go the opposite way first. So the fact that you are experiencing this anxiety and depression is a first sign that you are like a radio that is now not tuned into one single radio station. You're actually got a widened sense of frequencies. I mean, let's face it, we've got 5 senses. People often talk about the 6th sense. You've actually got 360 senses. Which I've explained in previous videos before, but to suffice to say that most people will experience it in ways like they walk into a room when there's been an argument, and if they don't say it, they will still sense it. Oh, there's an atmosphere in here. That's that thing where you can sense somebody has come into a room where you don't even see or hear them. Something tells you. That is the early stages of this. The anxiety and depression are further stages of this in a way, because you're opening up to a wider sense of frequencies. And yes, it does feel awful, but the depression and anxiety, because they need to be taken together with this. It makes you want to withdraw from the world. Well, that is trying to tell you to go within yourself. To rediscover yourself. This is alarm bells going off internally within you. So it is not actually a bad thing. It is actually a very good thing, because I wouldn't be able to do this talk now if I hadn't already gone through this experience myself. It used to take me 8 hours, and I'm not joking. It took me 8 hours to even go outside the front door to go to the local shop, which was in the same block that I was in, because I couldn't face seeing anybody. And in the mind, and this is where we create all the things. In the mind, I was creating a 20 or 30 foot high brick wall that I could not get over mentally to open that front door. It sounds absolutely crazy to anybody who's not been through it. There is nothing more frustrating if you have depression for someone to say to you, "Oh, cheer up," because they clearly don't have any empathy or any understanding or experience of how it actually feels, because it is an awful experience to go through. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture of this. It is going through the swamp. It is facing your shadow side, basically. And it is a golden opportunity actually to shut off from the world. But equally important, the thing to remember with this awakening path, and with depression and with anxiety, it feels like it is only happening to you. But it is when we communicate with each other, because sharing is caring, you'll find you are definitely not alone with any of this. It can lead on to, if the anxiety gets so strong, and you're already in conflict, particularly if you're in a job and you're, one side of your brain is saying, I've got a job to go to, the other side of your brain, which is the emotions and is feeling all this, is saying, I can't face doing this. And very soon it can manifest as a panic attack where you feel like you're drowning and you start grasping for air. That is the fight or flight mode that we have within us. Now, there is a very, very easy way to knock that out straight away. All you have to do is go on your chest. Don't do it if you've got a pacemaker though, please. But if you thud your chest, it jolts the heart, it stops the adrenaline pumping, and then just go inside yourself, focus on your breathing, forget about everything else outside, all the external distractions, focus on your breathing. Deep, slow breaths, controlled breathing, and you will come out of that panic attack really quickly. Again, I'm talking from experience with this, because it does feel awful. I got it where it was like a massive chest pain, which I thought was a heart attack the first time I had it. The last time I really experienced this to that degree was May of 2018. I had no choice but to go in town. I knew I couldn't drive the car, and I left it as late in the day. And that in itself, it builds up and becomes an even bigger problem. But I did force myself, because I had to go. It was to get a prescription for my mother from the chemist, because she just had a hip operation. So it had to be done. And I did. I was in the town and I couldn't get back on the bus. I was killed over. What amazed me was not one person said, are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help? Which was quite a shock. How uncaring this world has got. So with the depression and the anxiety, let it flow. Now the depression is another thing that it depends what you put in your body. Now I would recommend, and again this is from experience, get yourself a handful of unsalted cashew nuts and just eat those maybe once a week. Just use your intuition on this. If you feel like you need to do it twice a week, do it, or even all 7 days. Because cashew nuts are nature's Prozac and they have no harmful side effects. They're not addictive either. Now it's very subtle, you won't notice any changes to start with. But if you go 2 or 3 weeks where you don't have the cashew nuts, you will start getting those feelings coming back. But just have some more cashew nuts and that will go. If you have a nut allergy, I will have to come up with something else or look into this further. But even the allergies to things, I think, come down to what you're putting in your body. So I'll leave that there for now, and that hopefully will answer those questions. Anyway, thank you for listening, and ta-ta for now.